People with ADHD save 10 hours.
Heads up! Ladies and gentlemen, the time has hit 0 and the song is now done. I think it's time for us all to dive in for some fun. Don't you think? Oof, magic. Ooh. Keep forgetting about my stupid thing here. Alright, let's just get this ready to go. Just in case we need it. Rather we didn't, but it's a backup. Anyway, what is up, guys? This is Brownie of the Joy Charge Gamers, charging with joy with tonight's episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are back in the adventure of the unspeakable story. That's case number 5 of the first one. And now we are going to get ourselves, hopefully, a result. So, last time we were introduced to the supposed criminal pair of, well, I'd forgotten their name. It's been so long, I'll be honest. But now we apparently have the need to bring in Mr. Benedict. So let's see what his involvement is. Oh, 20 save files. Good to know. Anyway, so enough dawdling. We got a tournament to do later, so let's get on with this. Oh, damn, I forgot we were here. It already begins, the dawdling. Judge Brownie presiding, game is in session. Is the prosecution and the defense ready? Oh, Gina, how you holding up? Oh, the cold shoulder already. Wow, it's already been literally 2 minutes in. I'm starting to feel quite warmly towards her frequent cold shoulders now. And there's Iris. Saying anything. She's probably not going to until this is done. What's the point, eh? Why go to all this trouble and fight so hard for the likes of me? Ah, so you truly is understanding her predicament. Ah, bloody hell, I've got dog hair on my head. Ah. Yeah, don't you hate when that happens? You get like your pet hair in your mouth and somewhere. It's like, you get it somewhere and then all of a sudden... Wait, is it in... Oh, it's caught my earphone! God damn it. Has it caught my earphone? Yeah, doggone it. We saw it, that picture. What picture? Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That one. Ah, you mean this. Oh, okay, well thanks for the reminder. Well, I didn't think it would have captured a scene like this, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't think anybody did. Also, Ho zeros, 00312. Hey, I got it. I think I did it. Well, I won't pretend it wasn't a bit of a shock when the prosecution first presented it to the court. Surely you gotta have your doubts about me now. You can't still think I'm innocent. Of course I can. Baka. I'm just half expecting the baka. Jeannie, why don't you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night. Eh? You know, that generally would actually solve a lot of issues right now. Runo's cleverly managed to piece together a lot of new information, but still, we'd really like to hear it from you. Alright then. It was after we had dinner together at your place, alright, Iris? And we all had a chat up in your office, didn't we? Yeah, I remember that. I remember. After that, I just couldn't get to sleep, so I slipped out and went down the street to the 2 to 1 to Windybank's place. I had to know if Iris' story was there or not, the Hound of the Baskervilles. I don't know what it's about or nothing, but if you ask me, there's something in it that Sholmes don't like, something what he don't want people reading. So that's why I lied to Iris about sticking it in a lug with Windy Bank for safekeeping. At least, that's what I thought at the time. So you broke into Windy Bank's? I just had to know if it was there or not. I mean, I had no idea all of that was going to kick off, did I? Okay. I struck the lock and snuck inside. It was dark as you like in there, so I gave the oil lamp on the counter a bit of a wick, and that's when... What do you think you're doing? I nearly died, I did. The next thing I know, gun! I'd grabbed the gun off the counter and was waving it in the air like, I don't know what. Okay. Ah, you're the girl who was in here this afternoon. I didn't think Big Buckets went in for armed robbery. The mental script. Have you got it here? Did Sholmes leave a load of papers with you? A story? I beg your pardon? The Hound of the something or other. If it's here, I want to see it. I'm sorry, young lady, but I'd sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers. I don't want it. What would I do with it anyway? I just want to see if it's here. That's all. Oh, you want to see it, do you? I want to know if Sholmes really pawned it here or not. Please, just let me see it and I'll go. Oh, very well then. But for pity's sake, stop waving my gun around, would you? Aww. Well, proof in the pudding, I guess. And the old cove unlocked the storeroom door and we both went inside. Yep. And it was there, alright. The manuscript. Sholmes weren't lying after all. You did all that just to check for me, Jeannie? Anyway, then there was a bit of a kick-up out in the main bit of the shop. The Skulkin brothers arriving on the scene. Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah. Our lovable pair of nincompoops, Nash and Ringo. Mario and Luigi. Number one. What was that noise? Someone's breaking in. Dear me, is there some burglars convention here tonight that I don't know about? I think I forgot to shut the door behind me. Sorry. I better go and take care of it. Could I possibly have my gun back? Oh, well, I'll come with you and... Now, don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room under... Oh! And with that, he took the gun out of my hands and walked back out into the shop. I hung back in the storeroom like he said, straining my ears in the dark to hear what was going on. It sounded like they got into a bit of a scrap. I started to think I should help, see? Yeah, makes sense. So I was just about to go out of the storeroom myself when... Oh dear. Boom, bang, bada boom, bop. I had a couple of shots go off, too, I think, almost at the same time. And then there he was, right at my feet, laying face down on the floor. I was right next to the storeroom door, so I slammed it shut and locked it quick as you like. Because you thought whoever had shot Mr. Windybank might come for you. Yeah, so I went to grab the old cov's gun. I figured I'd put up a fight at least. Well, good on you for fighting to the end. And I got a better look at him. I knew. Windybank was a goner. I felt funny in my head all of a sudden, kinda dizzy. Jesus Christ. After that, I don't remember nothing. So she blacked out. Passed out, Gina. God bless her. If I hadn't done what I'd done, the old cove might still be alive. Did you tell the police everything you just told us? Of course I did, but they didn't believe a word of it, did they? All they said was, if I kept telling lies, it'd make things even worse for me. Oh. Jeannie, don't worry. Just stay strong a little longer. Luna's about to put the real culprit through the mill. That cove what was there in the afternoon? That Edgar Benedict? Oh yeah. Fancy. How he looked at me like I was nothing. Oh. He was there that night. We don't know his real name yet, but I'm convinced that he's involved somehow. Yeah, I think we all guessed that one. Anyway, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty. You what? You've been all in Runa's capable hands now, Jeannie. There. Oh, she couldn't believe someone actually believed her. Mr. Naruto? Close enough. How come you trust me? I don't get it. Aww. I mean, have you forgotten what happened here before? Come on, it was only 2 months ago. Oh yeah, how could we forget? Gilded. You got the bog trotter off with him, even though he was a killer. No, I could never forget that. Oh. I did what I thought was best at the time, but the pain of that error of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear. Still, don't forget that I also made you a promise. I told you that I'd be on your side to the bitter end, no matter what. But what if I'm lying? You could be working to get another killer off the hook all year for all you know. I was once in your position, Gina. I was the accused in a trial. You were? Oh, here we go. Left Japan, I was accused of murder. And strange as it might sound, the circumstances of the crime were pretty damning. I was sure that no one would believe me if it wasn't me who hadn't done it. Oh yeah, that's right. Even Iris doesn't know this yet. This is the story that hasn't come out yet. Who believed in me and was prepared to defend me. We all knew who it is. Kazuma! Ryunosuke, no one believes in you more than I do. Leave this to me. All you need to do is put your faith in me and I'll do the rest. I was so happy I cried. But even then, somewhere inside me, I couldn't help thinking, surely he doesn't really believe in me. Not completely. But I was wrong. As soon as my trial began, it was obvious that he had an absolute unwavering belief in me. Says the sweat on his face right there. Absolute unwavering. And in turn, I developed an absolute unwavering belief in him. Well, look at that! That's a new pose! Complete dead straight. Since then I came to realize if you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first. What are you saying? I promise you, Gina, that no matter what happens, I'll keep believing in you. So you don't need to worry. I won't let you down. Even though I'm a diver and a no-good liar? Did you start causing fires while working to expire? You're not like McGilded, I know that. Eh? That's right. Iris completely with her. Wee. Iris, we know you better than you think. And we've come to the conclusion that you're someone we can trust. That's really all we need to know. A frequent flyer. Yeah, exactly. Keep up the hires. Mr. Naruto, Yes, I appreciate it. Oh! Oh, right when it was getting good. Court proceedings are about to presume. Here we go again. At least Gina's starting to. defendant and a defending lawyer in my time. Now she's a crier. Yes, let's do this together. To put all your faith in another, and I also knew just how hard it was to bear the burden of another putting all their faith in you. This is it at last, the final chapter, the final battle. Wish me luck, Sasato-san, and I hope you're watching over me too, partner. Yes! Yes! Creator of Phoenix Wright series, this is what you've done, and you are a god. Bailey Courtroom. Alright. Oh yeah, we're 4 for 2 at the minute, I forgot. In order as we resume the trial of Miss Gina Lestrade. Lord Van Sykes, have you successfully is that called? The Sapone was delivered to the communication station where the man works immediately, my lord. However, the heavy rain has delayed the arrival of his carriage, it would seem. I see. Then let us turn our attention to Inspector Gregson's practice of the case heard by the court this morning. The glaring omission of the third bullet in your report is a serious blunder, Inspector. Yes, I can only apologize, my lord. And although the defense's chemical analysis of the blood at the scene makes for a compelling subpoena. Thank you, killer. I cannot permit such untried method to be... Oh! Well, looks like our blood things are a no-no. The supponeed witness has just arrived in the building. Oh, wow, that was lucky timing. Stand without delay. Okay, Benedict. Let's crack this. I like this. Bring him in. There he is. Oh, and Gregson's there too. Thank you for complying with the court's subpoena. Sir. But of course, my lord. As an upstanding member of London society, it is my pleasure to oblige. Now, kindly state your name and occupation for the record. Ashley Graydon, Communications Officer. Oh, we actually have... Oh, wow. Straight with the name. Let's make the puns, not me. Hey! I'm allowed. It's my stream. Mr. Graydon and I both work at London Central Communication. And this is where Cotlaw's line of the jury should have no one related to the murder in the cases. In which case, get Juror 5 out of here. Now, perhaps somebody would kindly explain what all this is about? You were apprised of the situation by the court officer on your way here, I presume? Yes, I was. Something to do with a murder that took place at a pawnbroker's on Baker Street. And some nonsense about me having been there on the night in question. That is the accusation indeed. This really is beyond a joke, you know. Assigned pun bucket. We might have to start. The court will hear the testimony of Mr. Graydon. You will respond to the accusation made against you under oath. Gladly, my lord. Gladly. I really expect this voice to be an Arlen voice. Its pun is a color. Ash gray. Yeah, that I was familiar with. I just... What was it? Alright. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. Are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder? I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation, even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene. Some Scaramouche detective's homebrewed tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence. Oh, Eggert said, oh, Benedict, I knew. So you deny the accusation completely, do you? I must say I am dismayed, for the highest court in the land to be swayed by this self-professed detective's toy. Yeah, you're right. The will of the jury and our great British justice system demands that the jury's will is upheld. Then it would seem we have the misfortune of a most inept assembly of jurors today. You're also insulting your colleague. By golly! How long am I expected to be detained here? If, following the defense's cross-examination, your involvement in this matter has not been established... Hey, Del. But then I shall be away in time for afternoon tea. Some small consolation, at least. Not uphold Mr. Grain any longer necessary. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination. So we meet again, Mr. Eggert Benedict. Or is it Mr. Graydon? My apologies. Oh, you fucker! You know how to defense lawyer. We have met. If you say so. Ashley Graydon, enchanté. So. Whoa! Oh! Hey, look, something got thrown at the defense anyway! It's not a whip, it's not a cup of coffee, it's a hat! I love this. I trust we can conclude this quickly. But I'm not holding your flashy hat while we do. Wait, we want a white hat? Okay, white hat, see? White hat! Alright, let's rock this. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. Hold it! Yes, we even met in the very pawnbroker where the crime took place on the afternoon of the day in question. Though, of course, you introduced yourself by a different name at the time. Oh! The bar's back! Benedict, I believe. Tell me, what made... Objection! Oh boy. The witness here has testified about the events that took place that night. Yep, that's not related. You can't be serious. Thank you, because I certainly do not feel inclined to answer such an inappropriate question. Okay, didn't have not to give anything away. It could be tricky. But the bar's back. That lovable little bar is back, which means one of these is gonna give the trigger. Colluded with these thugs to break into the place on night in murder. Hold it! Have you seen these two men before? This pair? No, I don't associate with criminals. They're both looking away. Said by a man who introduced himself as Eggert Benedict. I'd like to know who I have to thank for this. Who made this outlandish accusation? Uh-oh! We're dead! The young lawyer there in the black. This is a farce! Whose idea was it to permit an outsider to work in a British court anyway? The higher up, actually. So have a word with, have a word with Mr. Strum. Do I need to show you who we need to resort to? Yeah, so say hi to Strongheart. Well, needless to say, I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation. Hold it! Where were you around 1 in the morning on the night in question, sir? That is past the hour at which I would normally retire. Certainly. I was not in the company of these rapscallions. Oh, rapscallion. I love that word. It's still one of my favorite words ever to exist. You rapscallion! To prove that? Objection! Listen carefully, my learned Nepalese friend. For you appear to be under a gross misapprehension on this point. What do you mean? Good question. You're not the scene of the crime. He has no obligation to prove his absence. Wait, what? I thought he has to prove it. This was present at the scene. You need to prove he was there. Oh. God damn it. You will fulfill that obligation before putting any more reasonable questions to the witness. Oh, that fucking pose. A silent victory, Wiggle. Thanks. Even as certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene, hold it! I think this is our statement. Blood was found at the scene of the crime. There's no question of that. Mr. Sholmes' chemical analysis has positively identified the substance as such. But I am not the only human to have blood running through my veins, am I? How can you be sure that the blood is mine? It could equally be the blood of one of these two miscreants. Every individual's blood is a slightly different composition, it seems. Mr. Shum's chemical is able to differentiate different... Spare me the science lesson! Who is this Sholmes character, anyway? Oh, I assumed all Londoners would know the name. He's a he's a renowned detective. So even you are unable to bring yourself to say great detective. A great detective, you say? Now we're in the realm of fairy. Hello?
Excuse me.
Why did he react? What, me? No, the other one. Right, I've had enough. Yes, I know, you're not Big Bro Sulky. Nah, Skulkin, I'm glad he forgot which one. Cool blimey, Governor! You what? Is it not the case that when Mr. Graydon just spoke, a thought went through your mind? Yeah, I can't tell. Share that thought with the court? Me thoughts? I don't have none. It must have been him. You what? Answer the question, please. What went through your mind when Mr. Graydon just spoke? Nothing. Honest God, nothing. I was just thinking. If he waves his arms around like that much more, he'll open up the wound again. That's... Wound? Well, he took the bullet, of course, only 2 days ago. It ain't gonna be healed up yet. So I was, well, you know, I was worrying for him and... Nash. Thank you. Oops. Oh, well, spells. Graydon's got an injury. Wait, oh no, I'm injured. Oh my God, not again. The last one of the case is the... Not again. Your comrade is worried about you, it seems. On account of your injured arm. My lord. Yes, Mr. Graydon? I have no idea what these two wretches are talking about. Certainly, I shouldn't be expected to answer anything in relation to their mindless insinuations. We know that someone other than the victim was hit by a bullet at the scene of the crime 2 nights ago. And from the height of the bullet hole in the wall, that person was likely hit in the upper arm. Have we got on a break already? Court official to examine your arm, sir. The left arm that you're currently clasping with your right hand as if in pain. No. Oh! Show no evidence whatsoever that links me to these common thieves. Yeah, so... Oh my God! He actually has a desk slam! And his arm is back on his side again. And now his arm is back up there again. What was that? It was an arm on table, then suddenly glass, and then back to the table again. Might want to work on that. Had anything to do with the pawnbroker where this fellow was killed whatsoever. I take offense at the insinuation that I was in any way involved. You claim to have nothing whatsoever to do with Mr. Windyreg's pawnbrokery? My lord, the defense would like that last statement to be added. Okay. Testimony, Mr. Graydon. What have we got? The bottom line is, I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment where the broker... Hello! I think this might be it. This has to be it. Let's see. I'm sure it's one of these. Yeah, because this is the one. This is the one in question that he wanted. One gentleman's overcoat. This has to be the one, right? Oh no, wait, Mr. Mason's. Hang on, would that actually work because it's Mason's? Or would it be the disc? I'm sure this is the statement. What do you guys think? I'm tempted to actually say it's this. Press him?
Hold it!
Yeah, fair enough point. Never had anything to do with it. You forget that I was there, Mr. Graydon, on the very afternoon of the incident. Obviously, I am not completely a stranger to the pawnbrokers. Look up for an armchair to furnish my study. Oh, okay. I have no idea what you're talking.
Is that right?
Hello! Oh!
Excuse me.
Okay, the pressing was a good thing. Well played, everybody. Come again, sunshine. You were there too, in fact, weren't you, Inspector? That afternoon. Well, yes, I do remember meeting yourself in the pawnbrokers that afternoon. You, your young Japanese assistant, and the accused were all present, as I recall. And at the time, this witness, Mr. Graydon, was trying to acquire a particular article. Well now. Oh. What? But you must. I'm not gonna lie and pretend I remember something that I don't. What's going on? Gregsy showed us a picture before, didn't he? You know, from the cameras that Hurley installed at Windy Banks. Indeed, and the gentleman pictured bears a striking resemblance to the witness, I must say. Oh, there we go. Exactly, which proves that Mr. Graydon was in the shop at the afternoon in question. At no point have I denied that fact. He didn't. He merely entered the shop to pursue the articles on sale and have a word with the broker. Nothing more. Gregson. I understand why Mr. Graydon might be trying to cover his tracks. But why would Gregson be avoiding the testimony? That's a good point. That's all he's going to say on the matter, is it? What do you think, Reno? I think he has no intention of telling us anything. He's well aware that the less he says, the less chance he has to giving himself away. Complete opposite of Hurley, then. He seems to think that the more he says, the better. Requires a little more information from the witness's lips. All thanks to the Skulkin brothers. Yes, they were the key to it after all. So he says he had nothing to do with the Windy Banks. Well, we know that's not true. Perhaps now would be a good time to have a proper look through the court record. Interesting. Okay, so we'll look at the court record again. Okay. It's nothing to do with that, I don't think. It's nothing to do with that story. Suppose witness testimony. Nope, that's not the one we're looking at. pussycat! So we know that one, but I don't know. Some pawnbroker service in time, suggesting no intention, sacrament things. The bottom line is I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment when the man was killed. This has to be the statement, but is it really as simple as the, well, you know what? No harm in trying. I mean, no harm in trying, right? Well, actually, well, it's mainly because of that Mr. Mason thing. It would be the disc or the ticket. I mean, this is the bit that we kind of are pressed on. Well, might as well try this. Give me a minute. Normally I'm not one. Well, let's give it a try.
Objection.
Nope. That's not it. Okay, that wasn't it. Ah. Okay, confirmed, not the one. Okay, I've got this up if we need it. I won't know how to do. As long as it's quick. Okay. So this has to be the statement, right? This has to be it. Okay. Says that. Killer says the disc. Well, the thing is, it can't be this one because this is for a small box, so what's he got to do with this? So the only thing I could think of is the disc. Oh, I don't really want to... let's try it.
Objection.
Oh, that was it! It was the disc! So that was it. It wasn't the thing for the coat to build it up, it was the genuine disc. Why, is this supposed to mean something? This disc was until the day of his murder in a pawn in Mr. Winterbrook's shop, resumed by the defendant, Miss Jean Lestrade, that afternoon. However, somebody mysteriously appeared to try to take it from her. And that somebody was you, of course. Wasn't it, Mr. Graydon? As I have reiterated numerous times now, you are mistaken. That was not me. I've never seen that disc before in my life. It escaped your notice, but there is a small smear of blood on the disc. So yeah, the blood was the proof. That's right. The surface of the disc is covered in hundreds of tiny metal bumps. In the skirmish to acquire the disc, the thumb of the person who tried to make it suffered minor lacerations. So if we remove his glove, there should be a mark. This bears the remnants of that skirmish in the form of a smear of blood. The thumb of the person in question must bear the remnants also, in the form of a scratch. Good gracious! Indeed it must! Graydon? You refused to allow a court official to examine your arm before. Are you now going to refuse us to allow the examine your thumb? Because I have no doubt that it bears a small scratch, consistent with the smear of the blood on this disc. Oh, there we go! Well, well. It would seem I underestimated you. What is the meaning of this? So you admit it now? You admit you have a scratch on your thumb from when you attempted the disc? And he hides it behind his back. The worm has turned, gentlemen. It would appear there has been something of a misunderstanding here. I did not attempt to take the disc, as you put it. No, quite the reverse. No. It's really quite simple, you see. The disc was mine. Oh, here we go again. Oh. Not this again. In this piece of evidence, my lean friend has established a link between yourself and the incident. Accordingly, you will tell the court everything you know about this disc now. As you wish, though I'm quite sure it has nothing whatsoever to do with the pawnbroker's murder. Doubt! There's a note on the disc saying from McGilded, but that item belongs to me. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy gutterlig, on the day in question. I proceeded at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later the same night. So, oh no. Oh, here we go. Who perished in this very courtroom 2 months ago after being acquitted of the Bessie murder? Yes, my lord. The one and the same. Good lord, Mr. Graydon! Gilden and yourself were acquainted? Yes, that's correct. So that one comes out. Order! Well, I certainly didn't expect to hear the name uttered here in my courtroom again. According to what Gina told us, this disc was placed in pawn on that fateful night 2 months ago. McGilded himself gave instructions to deposit it in Windybanks. It's funny that Mr. Graydon here is claiming the disc belongs to him, eh? Likelihood, he's lying. So he appeared that afternoon at Windybanks in order to get his hands on the disc for some reason. The question is, why? Right. Let's rock this. There's a note on the disc saying from McGilded, but the item belongs to me.
Hold it!
Would you care to explain how this belongs to you? Uh-oh, the thing's back. Community Sergeant myself commands a fine salary. You are certainly exquisitely dressed, sir. So you see, I have little need to make use of the services provided by the pawnbroker trade. However, I did once find myself in difficulties having misplaced my purse whilst on an errand, which is why I pawned my fine black overcoat to the broker in question. You claim that was your overcoat? Oh, the coat again. I clean forgot that the music box disc was in its pocket. And yet there is a note on it that reads for McGilded. I'm a collector of rare and unusual music box discs. First met McGilded at a gentleman's club in the city and was interested to discover that he shared my penchant in that area. So he's saying they are in question because they like music. It's a pre-production sample. I promised to let McGilded hear it. And then you forgot that it was in the pocket of the overcoat. Mentioning of that in her testimony 2 months ago, did she? No, because Mr. McGilded had threatened her to keep her mouth shut. And if we dig too deeply here, it's going to expose Gina's perjury. Oh, jeez. Okay. The redemption ticket was stolen me by the accused, that filthy gutsling. The thing is, I'm going to hazard an actual guess. I get a feeling statement 4 is the thing we need to do something about this. No reason to break into the shop later that same night. But let's double check the rest. So you're saying that Miss Lestrade lifted the ticket from your pocket or bag? That's right, despite being mindful of danger when walking in the insalubrious areas her kind frequent.
Objection!
Miss Lestrade did no such thing. Well, of course you would take that stance, but the girl is a regular offender. You came to the pawnbroker that day prepared with all the information you needed to defend the defendant. You were looking for her, that's what brought you to Windybanks. To get your hands on Mr. McGillicud's disc.
Objection!
Oh boy. My learned friend is a veritable font of nonsense. Nonsense! Prosecution. Counsel, you will refrain from conjuring in this way. Is that clear? Oh, conjecturing. Yes, my lord. Then I will continue with my testimony for what possible use it can be. That bar's there again. The article. Nope, something else is there. Had you ever been to Windybanks before? Only once, for the purposes of pawning something, but like many, I enjoy browsing in such establishments. So when you noticed that the pickpocket taking your ticket, you chased after her, is that correct? Yes, that's right. I didn't notice at first, of course, such is the art of the pickpocket. Excuse me. Sorry, everybody. And the pawnbroker at once in order to reclaim my coat before the thief could. It was merely trying to recover what was rightfully mine in the first place. He can say what he likes because he knows we have no evidence to contradict him. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police.
Hold it!
Right, it was. Yes, it was taken by Inspector Gregson here, wasn't it? That's right. That was the very man. This was the very man. Apparently, the police was collecting anything that's a connection to McGill.
Is that right?
Oh!
Excuse me!
Hello! What do you mean? The last remark Mr. Graydon made in his testimony seemed to trouble you in some way. No, it didn't. It's nothing. Leave it alone. Let me ask you this, Inspector. Why is Scotland Yard gathering Mr. McGillicud's possessions? I can't tell you something like that, sunshine! What is it, Inspector? Investigate. Oh! Van didn't even know. It's McGillicud who died so unexpectedly after his trial 2 months ago. A man renowned for his great contributions to family life. He had the outside too. Where are you going with this, Van Sykes? I suppose the police are dealing with the aftermath of his nefarious activities, aren't they? That's enough! Coppers like me have duties to carry out that we're not at liberty to talk about. That's all you need to know. Duties conferred by Lord Strongheart, I presume. The Lord Chief Justice appears to have great faith in you, Inspector. Oh. The bottom line is, if you want to get more out of me, you're going to need Lord Strongheart's paw print first. Strongheart. We need Strongheart involved? Oh boy, here we go again. Routine to reveal. Graydon, let us return to your testimony. Gladly, my lord. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night.
Hold it!
But perhaps you'd seen something of value among the forfeited items? No, not at all. Oh? A valuer was brought in by the police to assess everything in the shop. God damn! Without exception, every article on the shelves was common or garden bric-a-brac. Bric-a-brac! Bric-a-brac and frick-a-frackin'. As it's clear that you broke into the shop later that day in order to recover Miss Gilda's disc. Have you not been listening, man? Even if I had wanted to recover the disc, you may recall that it had been seized by the police that afternoon. There was no more in the shop that night than I. As I keep saying, I simply had no reason to break in. So there was nothing of McGillicud's left in the shop that night. I wonder if that's really true. Have some evidence, then let him have it. I'm dying to see that irritating assured expression of his crumble. Slip the disc into his coat pocket and had deposited in Windy Banks. Then, when he realized he was going to be arrested on suspicion of the omnibus murder, he threatened Gina and forced her to take the redemption ticket. There's no doubt about that witness is lying through his pearly white teeth. He's got better teeth than me. You know, the shiny teeth than me. Shiny teeth, shiny teeth. I never remember that song. It was better than it should have been. So Inspector Gregson had taken the disc into custody that day. But Greggsy's being very strange about all this. There must be a reason for that, I'm sure. Just don't know what it is. For now, I need to focus on exposing the fact that Mr. Graydon's lying in his testimony. I know on the disc saying gilded, but that belongs to me. Redemption ticket. No reason. Let's see. No reason. I really have no idea about this. I really have no idea. Let's have a look. No reason. Post-shooting. No. Stereoscope. The ticket for the box? Actually, that could be a point. I think that might actually be a point. Oh, I didn't even check this yet. Oh, wow. Very neatly, but still, perhaps you ran out of paper, so had to use anything you had to hand. I'd to know what the front of... Wait. The ticket for the box. Hang on. Del, you might actually be right. I've got a hunch. Look at the date. 13th of April. Maybe? I don't know. That's me pulling at strings there myself. Jeez. Because I can't really think of anything else. Because the shooting happened right then about all that. So this wouldn't be broken. That would be still in there. The music disc was with the police. I doubt that would be important. I think that's probably the only thing I can think of. Well, I mean, no harm in trying. We got 4 lives. I mean, might as well try it.
Objection!
It was! Del, you actually got it right! Del, that was correct! Oh boy! Well played, Del! I don't know how the fuck you did it! You knew that and you weren't there with the intention of obtaining it for yourself.
Objection!
Conjecture again, in case the disc was taken in custody. So it's not the disc.
Objection!
So the other reason would most likely be something else. Sorry, my learned friend, but that's not true. What? Mr. McGilded had another article in Pwn at Windybanks, as this second pawnbroker ticket proves. Oh, hello! There were 2 articles belonging to McGilded and the pawnbroker, and the reason you broke into the shop was to recover the second one. Together with your 2 accomplices, the Skulkin brothers. Ah! This is the second ticket, is it? What had the man deposited? The article description reads, 1 small box. A rather vague description, it seems to me. Are you suggesting that I broke into the pawnbroker with these clowns in order to steal some trinket box? I believe there are adequate grounds to suspect that you did. This is absurd. Why on earth would I do such a thing? Once the article had been forfeited, I could simply walk into the shop and purchase it. There would be absolutely no need for me to resort to theft. I mean, fair. Good point. Indeed, the witness makes a solid argument. So that means for some reason, this Graydon fella needed the small box that very night, does it?
Objection!
It's time to put an end to this nonsense, my lord. Could you be a little less cryptic, Vlad Van Zykes? I don't know, is it Sykes or Zeeks? I don't know. If it's on the night in question, no small box was taken from Windybank's pawnbrokery. And rest assured, the prosecution can prove it. Uh-oh. Inspector, show the photographic prints. Uh-oh. Yes, sir. They had another. These prints were taken from one of the detective's security cameras. Oh no. More problems. Excuse me. House was furnished with automatic cameras in 2 locations. One was set to capture the counter when Mr. Beck received his customers. The other was set to capture the shelves on which the articles were placed for sale. All the information on this ticket, Mr. McGilded's small box had been forfeited already. 2 days before the incident, at 9 p.m. on the 13th of April to be precise. Which means it would have been on the shelves of forfeited items in the shop front. Now, what I have here is a print taken by one of the cameras about 2 hours before the incident. 11 p.m. on the 15th of April. The victim certainly has a very full shop, it would appear. And then here we have another print. This one was taken about 2 hours after the incident. Let's see. 2 pictures to compare. I already see it. I can see this one without even a think of it. Look at the box. Look at the box on the bottom shelf near the viewing thing. You can see that one clear as day. Oh no, didn't need that one. Obviously, at Scotland Yard, we considered theft as one possible motive in the case. We explored the possibility that something had been taken in addition to the victim's life. So your men have already compared these 2 prints thoroughly, Inspector? Yes, sir! We counted every single item in each of these 2 photographic prints. And the Yard's conclusion is that exactly the same number are present in both. So they're both there. In other words, nothing was taken from the pawnbroker on the night in question. But my lean friend's assertion is nothing more than a hopeful fantasy. Believe it, if I could have just shown that he'd stolen McGiller's pawn box. Little wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I've been thinking... I wonder if these 2 photographs really are exactly the same. No, they're not. Look at the box. Look at the box. Look at the box. In fact, on the night in question, nothing was stolen from the victim's establishment. Do you accept the prosecution's assertion? I don't know. Could there be some hidden discrepancy in these two photographic prints somewhere? We can point it out. We can point out the problem because it's on the photos. What? You must identify the location in question for the court counsel. Indicate the precise location and discrepancy of which you speak. So which one do I do? Is it this one or this one? It's gotta be this one, right? It's gotta be either of the... Well, I mean, we'll try one and try the other, I guess. Take that! Granted, these two prints are almost identical. See, I told you, I could see that one. This time I learned! That, and it was a clear one. Probably, because it was doing... What? When you view the two pictures stereoscopically... The brown box sticks out. It stands out being different. Let me wait. Unbelievable! I love that he has to do that. He just doesn't want to look like an idiot. By Jove, you're right. How extraordinary. I fucking love this case. Tells us it's very simple. Mr. McGill's small box was indeed not stolen from Winnie Max on the night in question. However, there can be no doubt that somebody picked it up in this particular box and returned it to the shelves. Suggesting the small box originally deposited by Gill is, in fact, the very small box I identified.
Objection!
Mindless guesswork. What if it was? So a box was moved on the shelf. Nothing was stolen. Which means, quite simply, that nothing has changed. That may be true, but the gilded box wasn't stolen. Does the fact it was moved like that change things? Does it change things? Actually, it would, wouldn't it? Because it would mean that since we proved the fact that he was after it, wouldn't that count for something? Yeah, here's a thought. It's gotta be everything because we proved he's there, so it's gotta change everything. Believe this changes everything about the case. How could this possibly be? The crucial point is the fact this was moved with a small box. In other words, we have to consider what might have been inside it. What are you suggesting? Great, and... I'm suggesting that we need to examine that box as soon as possible. Piece of evidence sitting on the shelves at Windy Banks as we speak.
Objection!
That won't be necessary. Some little box belonging to a man who died 2 months ago can't possibly be relevant to this trial. The court does not uphold your objection, Lord Van Sykes. Bailiff, arrange for an officer to go to Baker Street at once. Obtain the small box in question and bring it back here for further examination. Check General. I'm needed. Why am I needed? Oh, god damn it, killer! Oh. You made the... I love everyone had the reaction. Half an hour. I think perhaps we should recess for a short while until the evidence is brought forth. To be hoodwinked by such a farce? Disappointing. Beg your pardon, Lord Van Sykes. This is nothing but a smokescreen. A Nippony specialty, it would seem. What are you trying to say? My learned friend has persisted with the same line of reasoning from the very beginning, that this witness's intent was to steal an article belonging to Mr. McGilded from the pawnbroker. Yet common sense tells us that none of the articles of value... Oh, right. I forgot about that. I've seen the company's property. Oh, there's a glass. If your lordship recalls, Mr. McGilded perished 2 months ago, immediately after the conclusion of his trial. A trial in which he was found not guilty. A trial in which he was established he was the upstanding member of society, his reputation implied, in fact. Oh! Mouth! Oh! So I propose a toast to my learned friend and his most insightful defense. The articles this upstanding member of society pawned were entirely ordinary. A black overcoat that just happened to have a music box disc in one of his baskets, and a small box. Yeah, that's the thing we still don't know. Don't do such things to me. Glad the Russian guy is niet. Right, but compelling. Is it coming to the defense now coming to bolster its argument? Oh, and a break! To explain what possibly significance these commonplace articles pawned by this fine citizen could have. Well, counsel, is your argument in fact demonstrable? Demonstrable? Just well, can it be proven? We know that they're related, don't we? They're both vital pieces of evidence. Yes, of course. You and I both know that. We know McGilded's true character. We know the disc is significant, even if we don't know why. But if we explain all that to the court at this point, we'll have to acknowledge that Mr. McGilded's acquittal 2 months ago was a mistake. The defense's argument was flawed based on false information. Which means Gina gets the shit. Oh no. Is that why he's doing this now? Because he anticipated everything? This could be a great opportunity for us. Sorry? What do you mean? Well, what is it that you always say, Runa? Sooner or later, the truth comes out. Every time. Alright, the exact significance of the thing is that Mr. Million Bank is something that only Gina can explain to the court. If I put on the stand to testify about that, it could critically damage our chances of winning. Shit. What's the right thing to do here? Oh, fuck. Do we put Gina in the line to get an answer or not? Well, we need the truth. I think we gotta do it. It's the only way we can get through this. Because if we got no choice. I think it's the only... Yeah, the last time I left it alone, I got bollocked twice. Yeah, you're right. We're gonna have to do it. So I'd like to make a proposal. Oh, what proposal, counsel? While the court awaits the arrival of Mr. McGild's small box, I would like to call the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, to the witness stand. The defendant? To what end? It's to do with the various articles deposited at Windy Banks by Mr. McGilded, my lord. Mr. Strada's information relating to them. I believe it would be beneficial for the court to hear what she has to say. It will prove the significance of the articles in question. Well, well, things are becoming interesting. I presume you consider the implications of the testimony you're proposing, in particular the impact it will have on the accused standing, and indeed your own. Mark? Uh-oh! The prosecution accepts the defense's proposal. I move to interrupt the cross-examination of the current witness and hear from the accused herself. Uh-oh. No objection. So the court will now hear the testimony of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. Your witness is currently in the stand and may step down until further notice. Then I shall bid you good day. Wait. You, sir, shall remain in the stand while Mr. Lestrade testifies. Alright, Gina, it's time. I know this will be hard, but please put your faith in me here. This is horrible. The articles that Mr. McGill deposited in the pawnbrokery are intimately related with the omnibus case, the trial of which was heard in the courtroom 2 months ago. Yes, and I remember this young lady being brought before me in that trial as well. That's right, my lord. Her testimony helped to establish the innocence of the defendant, Mr. McGill did. The omnibus case was intriguing, to say the least. And now here... Alright, Dal. Mwah. Trial facing each other once more. A twist of fate, perhaps, my Nipponese friend. Allow me to recap the events of 2 months ago. Oh boy! An old brickmaker was stabbed to death in an omnibus running along London's winter streets. Apart from the victim, there was only one other person in the carriage, Mr. McGill did. Naturally, he was the prime suspect for the murder. But as the trial progressed, another possibility emerged, that the murder in fact took place above the defendant's head on the roof deck. Body then being dropped from the sky into the carriage below. It was Miss Lestrade whose testimony brought that possibility to light. At the time of the incident, Miss Lestrade was concealed under a seat in the carriage, hoping to pick the pockets of unsuspecting passengers. Then immediately after the trial, having been acquitted of the murder, Mr. McGill died in this very courtroom in the most extraordinary of circumstances. Yeah, burned, barbecued. A mystery that remains unsolved even now, 2 months on, as indeed does the omnibus murder itself. Be that as it may, I recall neither the disc nor the small box being mentioned in the course of those proceedings. Miss Lestrade. Oh, here we go. Would you tell the court now, please? What really happened in the omnibus 2 months ago, I mean? Is Gina gonna do it? She's oh no! And what about everything you told us yesterday from inside your prison cell? Uh-oh! Please, Mr. Lestrade, this is extremely important. But... oh, Gina... Remember, little girl, if it transpires that you willfully withheld information in the trial 2 months ago, the Home Office will seek to prosecute you for perjury. And naturally, you will lose all credibility as a witness. Although, let's face facts, you have little credibility to lose. Oof! Gina... come on, we're on your side. Is Gina... come on, Gina. Come on, Gina. She'll do it! Well, it would seem that my learned friend is hell-bent on bringing the entire courtroom down about his ears. So be it. Oh, here we go. I got a bad feeling about this. Mr. McGilld's pawned articles in that extraordinary case of the omnibus harbour secrets of which we have been hitherto unaware. Mr. Stride, you will now give your testimony before the court. Okay. I'm scared to do this. Everything's going to come out. Like Van Dyke said, this could bring the whole courtroom down about my ears. But as a lawyer, I'm prepared to take that risk. Good on you, Ryunosuke. This is going to be hell. Yes, that Brickmaker Cove was in the cabin of the omnibus the whole time. When the Irishman dragged me out of under the seat, I saw that disc on the floor. Oh! All of a sudden, I heard a scream from above my head, and that pair on the roof deck went out to call the slops. That's Cockney for cops. McGill slipped the driver some tin to do a run to the pawn shop roundabout. He threatened me not to snitch, not to say nothing to no one about what I'd seen or heard. Good grief, this is outrageous! I thought the court bears almost no resemblance to your testimony. Here we go. And there's every chance I may have adjudicated an error in McGilded's trial. Sounds very much to me as if the man deliberately deceived this court in an effort to cover up the most wicked of schemes. Without doubt, your lordship is correct. A great injustice. Oof. The actions of the accused in that trial, of this witness, and of my learned friend are entirely inexcusable. Shit. Oh, the lawyer, Mr. Narrow Oddo, that lawyer there, he did nothing. Oh, go on, Gina. Oh no. Oh no. Shit. The defense made a terrible error of judgment. I intend to take full responsibility and suffer what consequences are deemed appropriate. However, it's imperative that the court allows the witness to elaborate on her testimony, because the true significance of Mr. Miller's pawn articles must be brought to light. Very well, my learned student friend. Well, at least he's upgraded to student friend. Given the depths of calamity you've just plunged yourself into, this may be well worth hearing. Words fail me. The situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Nero, uh-oh. Decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord. Oh, God. Oh. What the fuck are we doing here? Okay, Kova was in the cabin of the omnibus the whole time.
Hold it!
And you were hiding in the cabin at the time as well, weren't you, Mr. Scott? If I remember rightly, in the storage compartment underneath one of the seats. Oh, the bar's back! It's pitch black under there, so you can't see nothing at all. Now, in your testimony 2 months ago, I feel certain that you claimed Mr. McGilded was the sole passenger, did you not? False testimony, my lord. That's what he told me I had to say. It's important that you tell us the truth now. Were Mr. McGilded and the victim acquaintances? I don't know. But I did hear him talking a lot. What were they talking about? Yeah, Eggert's back's turned! It's what I've had to say. It was about money or something. Talking about buying and not buying. Perhaps business dealings of some kind. Well, anyway, they got louder and louder. It started to sound like a proper fight. What? Hello? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? pretty scared by then. I hardly dared to breathe. And then, all of a sudden, I heard a noise like someone keeling over on the floor. It was blooming loud and all. What the fuck's going on here? But that's what gave me away. When the Irishman dragged me out from under the seat, I saw the disc on the floor.
Hold it!
Was the disc you saw this disc? Yeah, I reckon it probably was. It was right next to the cove lying on the floor. Oh, I get the feeling you're right too. Oh, Mr. McGilda picked it up pretty smartish. And then he sat the cove up with the knife in his belly up on the seat. What did he say to you at the time? He told me not to say a word about what I'd seen or what I'd had to no one. About the disc and all. I was dead scared the way he was looking at me. I thought, if I didn't go along with it, I'd get stuck with that knife too. And he started asking me a load of questions. Like what my name was and where I lived and that. He asked about me being a diver too. After a while, what had happened in the carriage was noticed. Yeah, that's right. First there was a kind of rapping noise. All of a sudden I heard a scream from above me, from the head, and the pair on the roof went off to call the slops.
Hold it!
That's right. So I looked down through the skylight and noticed the cove with the knife in his guts. When they screamed, the driver pulled up the horses and McGilda got me out of sight. Out of sight? Where? Call them out? I mean, nothing says we can. I mean, I don't know. I'm double checking the info here. If you left to fetch the police, it would appear they were entirely unrelated to the incident. So that left McGilda, the driver, and you still at the scene. Yeah, only the driver didn't know I was there because I was under the seat. I mean, is it worth calling them out? Hold on, I'm gonna double check this. I don't know if there's a reaction. He did. The numpty. A fellow went by the name of Bippo, if memory serves me correct. What did Mr. McGilda and the driver say to each other? I don't know what happened and stuff like that mainly. That's when Mr. McGilda slipped the driver some tin to do a run to the pawn shop and roundabout.
Hold it!
Well, let's try it. Obviously being Windy Banks on Baker Street. Just a moment, Counsel. Do you mean to tell me that the driver gave false testimony to trial as well? Perhaps the excursion to the pawnbroker slipped his mind when he was in the stand. Indeed, Lord Van Sykes. McGilda took off his coat and gave it to the driver. He folded it up all careful-like before handing it over. When I saw him do that, I remember thinking, that coat and what's in it has got to be worth a few bob. I was sure that this must be worth more than Mr. Moneybank was suggesting. So in short, she was more focused on money. Remember her quibbling with him over the price that afternoon at the pawnbrokery. The driver looked pretty happy when Mr. McGilda flashed some brass in his face. He went off running at a lick. Then the bog trotter called to me and told me to come out from the drag's cabin. He threatened me not to snitch, not to say nothing to no one about what I'd seen or heard.
Hold it!
Threatened you how exactly? Told me I'd only be able to scalp her if I did exactly what he said. Which included giving false testimony in court 2 months ago? Yeah, that's it. Then there was one other thing he said. Which was? He told me I'd have to hang on to the ticket from the pawn shop and make sure not to lose it. The ticket? Well, I never! Said that if he didn't show up to get the ticket off me before 2 months passed, I had to go to the pawn shop and pay the money to keep it in lug, to stop it being forfeited. You left him with some brass to pay for it. But really, why on earth would Mr. McGill have done such a thing? Depositing his overcoat with a pawnbroker before the arrival of the police makes no sense at all. There would seem to be only one logical explanation, my lord. What McGill did have the driver deposit Windybank was something he didn't want the police to see. Something very important that he needed to hide at all costs. Anyway, after that, he let me go, so I legged it before the coppers showed up. It can't have been easy to tell the truth. Good honor! I have faith in you, Runa. Yes, and to thank her, she'll have to face a charge of perjury once this trial's over. Use the time we have now to get as much information out of her as possible. It's time to really go for it! But we did! Okay. A secret discussion about something. I'm sure I'm completely comfortable with that. I wonder if there's anything I can do about it. Wait, do we actually have to call them out?
Hold it!
Let's try it. That's right. Excuse me! Inspector Gregson and Mr. Graydon. Oh! Oh! Inspector! Mr. Graydon! Yeah! Oh my god, we got a double! Double react! Hang on a minute. What happened? Wait, is Great? Wait, what's up with Great? What's up with Graydon's arm? His arm just looked like he had a bit missing. Tell us, what is the discussion about? Discussion with this fella? Pull the other one, Sunshine. You think I got anything to talk about with a shady jet like this? And I have nothing to say to this uncouth detective after he deprived me of that disc that was rightfully mine. They've been negotiating. Wait a minute. Oh, wait, was that what we needed to do? Wait, we needed both. Reasonable understanding of what actually transpired on the omnibus. Appear on that night 2 months ago, a negotiation was taking place on the omnibus. Quarrel over price, McGildy took what he wanted by force, at the expense of a life. I'm so glad the death slime has gotten better. Although I don't understand why as of yet. And 2 days ago, precisely 2 months after the omnibus incident, McGildy's coat and its contents were due to be forfeited. I didn't know what I should do with the ticket. I mean, the Cove died right after his trial, I knew that. So you decided you would try to claim the articles as your own? Well, why not, eh? They were only going to be forfeited. Why shouldn't I have got them? Anyway, you can't blame me for thinking about it. Thinking ain't no crime. Miss Lestrade, it would appear Mr. McGildy was prepared to kill in order to make possession of this disc. Do you know why that would be? I ain't got a clue. But I reckon it must be worth a fair bit of brass. He was probably going to sell it. And you can't blame me for thinking that. Thinking ain't no crime. Oh! Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about that. The box! Hey, where'd he go? Where'd he go? There we go. The desk of him. Desk. There's no doubt in my mind that it's a key piece in this far-reaching puzzle. And now to test my theory. Oh! Wow. 4 hours, they told me. I didn't see that taking anything, but we took one hit there. Part 4. I know this is the last one. And there it is. Only question, is it? A small box deposited with the pawnbroker by Mr. McGilded 2 months ago. Night of Mr. Windybank's murder, the only item on the shelves that was touched. Quick, let's open it and see what's inside. What? It's a CD player! It's a CD player! And that might be the case. It's a CD player! It's a music box movement. Graydon is looking tense. And we're to assume that it's a device for the playback of this disc. Bingo. So here we have the means to play back Mr. McGilder's disc deposited Windy Banks at much the same time. Not strictly correct, my lord. It was not McGilder's disc. Disc of his victim in the omnibus. But why, for heaven's sakes? Sell the music. Yeah, it's a good point. Oh, I love how polite he is. Yes, very well. Let the court now listen to this curious disc at last. Gregson? Skin the disc are... Oh, they're unrelated to the... Oh. This is the negotiation.
Objection.
This is the fucking negotiation they just had, isn't it? That it's fundamentally important. The prosecution has no objection. But no, that piece of evidence is police property now. You've got... Clearly Scotland Yard has some vested interest here. But it is policy of this prosecutor to leave no avenues unexplored. And you, Inspector, have no jurisdiction here to prevent that from happening. Gah! What? Looks like even Gregson's got a fucking... Gregson's keeping quiet. No, Gregson fucked. What? Not what I would call music. No. It sounds like Morse code. Dot, dot, dot. Graydon. This really is priceless. After all that, the music box is broken. Obviously, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the officer sent to fetch it and drop it on... Oh, you fucker! We found out the disc is apparently playing a note. Just one note. And we think it's Morse code. Also, Gina confessed. Alright, it does sound as though it's completely broken, but is it? Yeah, could this music emanate from this or possibly be a new clue? Yeah, it could be a clue. It's gotta be a clue. It's gotta be. It'll be relevant, my lord. Good lord, but how can it be? It's an abomination, Counsel. Mere noise. I fail to see how it could be meeting anywhere. It does sound strange, I agree, but there's one thing bothering me. While Graydon stands there chortling victoriously, the inspector beside him has a rather telling expression. As if deduction recognizes the sound as if he's familiar with it. And that's making him appear on edge. If that's the stance of the defense, my Nipponese friend, answer me this. Yeah, what is it? There you go, that's the tune. Just what relevance do you propose this woeful chiming has on this case? Its defense's belief that the sound emanating from this music dust is not supposed to be music. Wow, it broke the disc. Doesn't necessarily mean the sounds we're hearing are music. Oh! Look at that. The smile vanished as quickly. Look at him squirm. So yeah, I must be making deductions based on how people react to what you say. You're acting just like Hurley, Runa.
Objection!
Uh-oh. The sounds we're hearing aren't necessarily music. Well, now that you've told us what they are not, why did you tell me what they are? Not to hear what they are. Do enlighten us, my Nipponese friend. Oh, shit. Yeah. Are you in mind? Because if not, it will be the death of your ill-formed argument. Exactly. The music box is clearly broken. Refusing to accept that fact is poor foolishness. They've got me. I don't know what the answer is. Yet. Runa... I've just examined the music box very thoroughly. And I'm fairly certain that it's not broken at all. Well, that confirms that. Maid, it can only produce a single note anyway. Well, if the music box isn't broken, it must mean that the sounds it's producing have some significance that isn't musical. Could it be? Is that what these sounds are? Morse code! Something's just struck me, Runa. I feel like recently, in the past few hours even, I've heard another sound very much like the one this music box makes. It's a familiar sound. I'm sure we'll get a mess. Yeah, we might get something. Thinking exactly the same thing. Press the defense for an answer. Is that the sound produced by this music box is not in fact music at all? Then what the devil is it, Counsel? All the evidence we've seen so far, all the testimony we've heard, it's all pointing to one single answer. Yep. Prosecution demands that my learned Nipponese friend presents proof now. Tangible proof of this latest speculation. Alright then. To fight back in this trial, and if I'm right, it's going to join all the dots together. So it explains the true nature of the sounds is... It's the newspaper. The government secrets.
Take that!
There we go. Today's paper, Counsel. The headline is, Pawnbroker perishes in pig purse plunder. Highly supportive of your cause. No, my lord. I was hoping you'd look a little further down the page. Down. Ministry mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Minister of Justice. Yes, this is a very serious matter being investigated at the highest level, I understand. I've heard the international transmissions along supposedly secure lines are somehow being intercepted and leaked to various other countries. We're going fucking war. Those transmissions in the form of wired telegrams? Of course. Juror number 5, your input, please. Oh, Misa? Whatever's the matter? You told the court before that you worked at the same communication station as Mr. Grainer, did you not? Yes, that's correct. And that particular station where you work deals with government communication and newspaper reports? Oh, yes! We're not your run-of-the-mill communication station at all. Our work is extremely important. Then tell me, is this not a very familiar sound? You don't mean to say... Is it... That's right, madam. It bears more than a passing resemblance to the sound made by your telegraph machine as you tap it. I believe it's called Morse code. But I don't believe it! Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to leaking telegrams from government departments, there could be nobody more perfectly placed than a skilled officer. Are you suggesting that Music Box disc contains stolen government secrets and Morse code? Bingo! But this is High Treason Council, deserving of capital punishment! Too much new vocabulary. What is treason and what is capital punishment? The sorts of words I half expect you to know. For our sovereign government's confidential information, hostile nations would surely pass almost any price. And on that night 2 months ago, that was the very negotiation that was taking place inside the omnibus. In the end, Mr. McGilded perished and the all-important display unclaimed in the pawnbreakery. My word! In which case, whoever stole that information in the first place must surely have been beside himself with worry. Because if the disc were to be discovered before it found its way out of the country, it would reveal an act of high treason punishable by death. So the culprit had no choice but to retrieve it. And in order to do that, he would have to gain entry to the pawnbrokery illegally in the middle of the night. Because the article left behind by McGilded would incriminate him too much. So that's why McGilded got rid of the disc. So it was basically he was fucked either way. Guilty by murder or by treason. He was doomed either way. Mr. Graydon? Ooh! You think I've been stealing government secrets? Preposterous! Absolutely preposterous! So in response to the defense's accusations, you claim complete innocence, do you? Well, of course I do! I'm trying to think more along these lines. I had to stand here in silence when a pretentious foreign lawyer's been prattling away.
Objection!
Sykes? Then by all means, counter the charges, sir. The prosecution demands the witness testifies in response to the accusations brought by the defense. Delighted, I'm sure. The witness is reminded the crime under scrutiny in this trial is the murder of the pawnbroker. That being a most flagellous offence for which the law of this land sanctions a capital punishment. But the heinous act of high treason is no less serious a crime. I urge you to bear that in mind as you testify, Mr. Graydon. So then, let us proceed. You may... What? Goes... Oh! Nash? Wait, the thieves? Name's Nash Skulkin, occupation is professional Betty. Oh. Name's Ringo Skulkin, but we ain't bad as enough to sell out our motherland. Wait. The three Skulk... Oh, here we go again. Gregson again. Bad timing, fellas. Very bad timing. Wait, what? Okay, what the fuck's going on? A mere communications officer couldn't possibly steal confidential government information. Besides, the sounds produced by that music box aren't even Morse code. Some low-class brickmaking negotiated with McGill in England, is it not? I've no relation to the man. Look, all we done is break into the gap the other night like what he told us to do. If we'd known there was dodgy government secrets involved, we wouldn't have touched it. Oh. Oh, they keep doing this. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. So they've pretty much just confessed that they've got a relation with him. Take that as you now admit the crime, that on the night in question you did indeed gain entry to the premise illegally. And moreover, you did as a party of three in collaboration, Mr. Graydon. We did, Oh! you! When you say that, Mr. Graydon, I have no idea what these two ruffians are referring to. You little rotter getting us mixed up in this monkey business! You never said nothing about no government secrets. It was supposed to be a straight-up job!
And what about the geezer whose shop it was, eh? Poor old bloke didn't have to die, did he?
Yeah! Nice to know who your friends are. Whatever these men say, I deny the accusations. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting this little music box to become so significant in the proceedings. However, as it has, I will admit into the court record as evidence. So it's in the record now. Alright, here we go. Right, before we do, we gotta check it. Ooh, button. Wait, are you telling me this actually is important? It looks like the bottom of it opens up as well. Oh. Come on, this has got to be the big clue. This has got to be the big clue. What? It's a double-sided music box? He wanted 2 discs, didn't he?
2 discs they would both play back at the same time.
Oh my fucking god. Well, that's a surprise. This movement also only produces a single tone like the other one. It must do, except that the length of the teeth on the 2 combs isn't the same. The single tone produced by this movement will be different to the tone we've heard. Each movement can only produce a single note. He could do if I were to play 2 tones. Interesting to know. Interesting to know. As I couldn't possibly steal confidential words.
Hold it!
I think you'll find otherwise. Accurate government communications are being intercepted? What I possibly know? What do you mean by that? Any important government communications are handled by high-level officers, by specialists. General members of staff in the station where I work have never been trusted with sensitive information. No. Wait. Oh, number 5! We regular communication station officers aren't as lonely as you're being led to believe. A team of us are responsible for setting up and testing the telegraphs used by the Ministry. And Mr. Graydon is the team leader. Oops. Oh, Graydon. Higher up. Oops. Wait, stop. Currently in presence of idol. Stop. So they don't work together, but they work in the same building. Well, what of it? The transmissions are always made behind closed doors, so they can't be heard. In case all messages are sent in enciphered. Sorry, I had to stop myself for a bit there. Normal employees couldn't possibly understand them. Oh no, stop. Must say something, stop. Mr. Graydon regularly attends meetings with Ministry technicians and the Ministry communications team. He assists them in ensuring that there are no errors in... Oops. The top right is at the Cipher Cracking Convention 5 years in a row. That's fascinating. Graydon is a highly skilled operator, currently in presence of idol. Stop! Well, your idol would appreciate it if you'd keep your mouth shut. Charming. I tell you, this lawyer's accusations are completely unfounded. Interesting, interesting. This producer has found out even Morse code.
Hold it!
Yeah, I would generally love that myself. To anyone with a brain, that would be blatantly apparent on listening to that music box for even a few seconds. Yeah. Oh, wait, yeah, because Morse code is dot, 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 dash, 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 dot, dot, dot. Dots and dashes. Surely it can't be that my learned friend is unfamiliar with Morse code.
Oh, she looks genuinely shocked at my ignorance. We'd be more than happy to demonstrate them. Oh! Wasn't here in court? Morse code is a continuous series of 2 distinct tones. Tones, you say? Yes, a short dot and a long dash. By combining those in different ways, you construct letters. I see. For example, this is A. And this is B. But when you listen to the sound produced by this music box, you only hear one tone, don't you? So similar, the rhythm of it's the same as everything. But there's no discernible meaning to this apparently random sequence of sounds. So your assertion is fundamentally flawed. This is not Morse code. It does an odd point there. What did I tell you? That music box is nothing but a worthless piece of scrap. Perhaps you might consider studying your subject matter before casting aspirations in future. Stop. Nothing to say, but stop. Oh, please. Gregson, stop. No, seriously, I want you to stop. Oh, Grayson. It's Grayson, not Gregson. Damn it, wrong person. If the government secrets were somehow being leaked using the music box, and the other things would slot into place so nicely, could there still be something I haven't considered? Would it be impossible to use this music box somehow to play back Morse code? Yeah, at the other side, right? It would be the other side. Still every possibility music box was... The defense, at least.
Objection!
Does it please you in some way, my Nipponese friend, to repeat the same line of argument ad infinitum? It's already been established that to be Morse code, 2 tones are required, dots and dashes. Yes, I'm well aware of that. Then what? I saw the shake. I love the text box shake. Put forward. Oh, he flinched. Because this music box, which appears to produce only a single tone, protects messages. Doop-a-da-doo. Doop-a-da-doo. That's what we gotta do. Present the other side. That's what we gotta do. And click. Boom, bang, bada boom, bop. Also, hello, Night. Hello, everybody. How you all doing? You all looking fabulous. All right. 2 moves that link together. Oh, here we go. Oh, we gotta do this again, this text. I just did this text earlier. I did this to stop that text. Take it! Got it! Good gracious, what am I looking at here? Another movement on the other side of the music? What? Graydon, shut up! 2 movements are linked together. In other words, you can put 2 discs in this music box, and the sounds of both will play at the same time. Good heavens! As the chord is heard, Morse code comprises of 2 tones, a short dot and a long dash. Long dash. Is that the 100 meters? We used to generate Morse code to convey a message. Grayson, shut up! Oh, Graydon, shut up. You're not a joke! I'm sorry? Exclaims, though of course, if my learned friend would be able to present the court with the second disc, that would be another matter. Well? Yeah, we don't have that one. May I remind the court, pointed out he was not the one in the omnibus when we gilded 2 months ago. Nothing whatsoever to do with it. Presented by the defense as much promise. I believe the cross-examination could continue. Between Graydon and the victim of the omnibus must be there somewhere. I haven't found it yet. Well, need another oomph. Reiterate your testimony if you please, Mr. Graydon. If I must, though I maintain exactly what I did at the start of this pointless cross-examination.
Low-cost brickmaker negotiating it. No relation to the man. Look, all we did is break into the gap the other night like what he told us.
If we'd known there was dodgy government secrets involved. Yeah, this is the new one. This is the stuff we had. Let's try this. Can we at least prove the possibility? I mean, if he still has it. Mr. Mason was a single man with almost nothing to his name. It seems he lived in an artisan quarter some years ago, but people then remember little about him. That's horrible. Humble brickmaker come to acquire secret government information. How indeed? That smirk! It seems in all of this. Who acquired the disc and gave it to Mr. Mason in order to take it to the meeting with her.
You mean?
You may have it in for me, sir, but I assure you I have far more class than that. An old brickmaker from an artisan quarter and his well-to-do commercial officer. If only I could find some evidence to link the two of them together. Hold on. Well, to add on that note, let us return to the witness testimony.
Just a thought. Look, all we did was break in the gov the other night like you were told us to.
Hold it!
Like Mr. Graydon told you to, you mean?
That's it? Yeah. Who else, eh? Silly me thought it was just popping over for a natter after all them years, but the rotter had a dodgy job for us. Yes.
Oh. He kept quiet. Stop your there, Mr. Skulkin. After all them years, you say? You mean to tell me that Mr. Graydon is an acquaintance?
Ooh! Sociable kind of baddies, you know? Sure, let's say great. Hello?
Excuse me.
Hello? Why'd you flinch?
No, the other Mr. Skulkin.
What? Who, me?
When your brother was testifying, is he there to double check my chair there? Testifying now, he said something that seemed to cause you to react. Oh, I was just remembering the good old days, that's all. We used to have a right old laugh together way back when. Together? With Mr. Graydon, you mean?
Yeah, with Ash. I mean, you look at him now in his fancy whistle and flute.
That's a suit.
Probably. And you wouldn't Adam and Eve it. That should be an obvious one. But when he was younger, he was from the poor part of town, just like us.
Is that so?
But he's a leery one. You got the brains, you got the savage.
With smart ideas like what would never have gone through our heads.
Cool, blimey, ain't that the truth? Remember Milverton and Skulkin's milk run? That was a corker, eh? Save it until after the trial. You reminiscing has no place in this courtroom.
And neither does your fruit.
Oi, the geezer asked us a question, didn't he? He was answering.
Yeah, we ain't done nothing wrong.
Nevertheless, the court is not prepared to accompany you on a trip down memory lane.
Counsel, can we turn our attention back to the testimony, please? I don't know. Sentinel's a story beat. Oh. I'm tempted to say yes, just for the lulz.
Yes, counsel.
The brother's last sentimental statement could hold vital information.
Very well, counsel. I will permit the brothers to supplement their testimony with that detail. Briefly, I hasten to add. Say no more! Skulkin's never skulkin'!
Aww.
Milverton Skulkin's milk run? Call them the were the days.
Hold it!
I'm sure I'm gonna regret asking, but what exactly was that? Some kind of business?
Just a little scheme we had back when we was youngsters. Bit of fun, really.
Delivering fresh milk to the locals, that's what it was all about. So they were jobs? They had jobs? I suppose since we're here, I should ask them to elaborate, but on what? Oh. The model, leave it. Maybe the name. Yeah, why Milken? It's a bit of fun, you say, and it was just yourselves and Mr. Graydon involved.
Yeah, that's it.
Milverton and Skulkin's Milk Run, was it?
Yeah, that's it.
And where did the Milverton part come from?
Oh, right. I thought a clever close like you had worked that one out.
Hold it!
Oh! Hello.
Objection!
Oh! Let me guess, you don't accept anything these two witnesses are saying? So why does he... Yeah. Milverton, you decide to interject. Oops!
It weren't the happiest of thought homes that one came from.
Yeah, his old man was struggling for money so much, his wife walked out. Ouch!
Took the name Graydon then, see? But Ash was always by
Milverton to us. So... interesting. Of course not! This is all bunkum! I've been at Graydon since I was born! Think you can rely on the testimony of these two thieves, hmm? You're a communications officer attached to the civil service. As such, your personal details will have been thoroughly checked at the time of your appointment. It would be a very simple matter indeed. Oops! Subpoena those records, Mr. Graydon. Oopsie! Mr. and Mr. Skulkin's testimony has been relatable. For once. You were born Ashley Milverton, then. Is that correct? Oops! Very well. Yes. So Ashley Graydon was once Ashley Milverton. Could change things. Wait a minute. Wait. There's the link! There's the link! There's the fucking link! God damn it! Lost it! I've got it! I'm so glad I remembered that! The thing is, wouldn't it? The negotiation Ginny overheard on the omnibus. Oh, we just had this before. Oh, no, we didn't. But the trouble is, it wasn't Mr. Graydon in the omnibus with Mr. McGilbert. No, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker who was so horribly murdered. I've got a horrible feeling about this. I've got a horrible feeling about this. And those two actually helped us! Officer wouldn't steal that. There's that. It was some classroom breakdown. Nah! No! Nope! I think we know which one we do. Objection! Hey, where'd they get the fruit? I don't know. Upperton, tell me, why did you try to hide your former name from the court? Because I haven't gone by that name for years. It means nothing to me. No, I don't think that's the real explanation at all. Oh, slay with the one hand! Aha! Explain yourself, please, counsel. I have here the notes from the omnibus case, my lord. And we all know the victim, the man we now know understand to have been negotiating with McGilbert. Yes, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. Only Mason wasn't his surname at all, it was his given name. His full name was Mason Milverton. Milverton?
Do you mean to say Saint's alive?
Is it not the case that the brickmaker, Mr. Mason Milverton, was your father?
Ooh!
As I believe I mentioned earlier, your family history will have been thoroughly checked when you joined the civil service. And it really would take no time at all for the court to subpoena those records. Acquiring higher confident information and selling on some McGild. Oh!
Booyah! There's a shot! There's a shot!
And failed by cross-examination, all come together to reveal the truth. The truth, you say? That you collaborated with your father, Mr. Mason, in illegal dealings. Jesus, so that's the fucking truth. The Graydon concocted this elaborate scheme of using 2 music box discs to encode the information, as presumably a safety measure against the information falling into the wrong hands. So the dots on one disc, the dashes on another.
And a very effective one. I shouldn't have given the scheme any credence whatsoever.
But the deal with McGilded went sour, and then the brickmaker met his end. Before he was arrested, McGilded managed to temporarily dispose of the stolen disc at the pawnbroker. Then, having learned of the situation, you appeared at Windybanks 2 days ago in an attempt to recover the 2 articles McGilded had placed in pawn there. But that attempt failed. Ooh, this is getting so good! This and the other was never found, so that same night, you enlisted the help of the Skulkin brothers and broke into the pawnbrokery. This time determined to recover the second disc.
Are you suggesting that the second disc was inside the music box? We never knew nothing about that.
On the night that Mr. Windybank was killed, that was the only thing moved. So they knew that box had something to do with it.
Touch the music box. Using the 2 prints from the security camera, indeed.
So the question that naturally begs answering is this: why was that one article disturbed? The answer is obvious, because it contained the second disc which the intruder was desperate to retrieve. Since if it were to fall into the hands of the police, it would be proof of high treason. So why was Graydon having a conversation with Grayson, though? After we began the fateful night 2 months ago? Oh, come on. Come on.
No, not yet.
Oh, this lion still has fangs. Let's declaw this lion. There appears to be blood seeping through the sleeve of your jacket. Oh.
Oh!
2 nights ago, we know that 3 shots were fired at the scene of the crime in Windybank's pawnbroker. 1 there. 1 took the pawnbroker. The 2nd at Sholmes. And the 3rd in the calendar. Oof. So that means Graydon is most likely the one.
He's got you now, me old China.
Time to call it quits and croak, Eric. Oh! Even they know when to call quits. Don't acknowledge my presence there under any circumstances whatsoever. Those were my terms, remember, and I paid you handsomely to comply. Clearly, I was a fool to think I could trust some common-back slum thieves. Fine, I admit it. We got him! We got him! Oh yeah, should probably show A on that one. Yeah, look, the third bullet was found in here, in Sholmes's pouch. And there it is. Paid this pair 10 guineas to accompany me, and as you've noticed, I sustained an injury in the course of my adventures. So we actually got him. But that is all. I admit to nothing more. Stealing government secrets, negotiating with Mr. McGill. Surprised he can still move despite a bullet in his body. As I sure I recall nothing of the sort. Oh. So he's complying he broke in, but he's not complying to the rest of it. Right. Which is... one bullet was fired from each of the 2 firearms we had in the evidence. The bullet from the Skulkin Brothers gun hit the pouch around Mr. Sholmes' waist. The second was Windybank's gun taking his own life. Well, oh wait, Mr. caught the one in the arm. We can't rule out that possibility. The man shot himself. So in short, the third gun... Hello, Graydon. All of a sudden, you're looking a little pale, Gray. Maybe instead we should paint... Maybe this guy, we should call him Black and Blue. Third gun. Actually, no, I just realized maybe instead of Grayson, we should name him Greenson. Because he's looking a little sick, if you ask me. Not looking too hot now, are we? Could possibly have shot Mr. Windybank is the third culprit.
Hold it!
He's still not done? Upstart. You made a great mistake when you summoned me here. What? What's that supposed to mean? Yes, as you rightfully say, I was there at the pawnbrokers. I did my best to hide that fact, naturally. I had no intention of ruining the distinguished career I'd built myself at the communication station. But did that thought never cross your mind? Did you never consider the possibility? Of what? What did I miss? As there at the scene, I may have witnessed the crucial... Oh, you motherfucker. Is he pretending to be a... Oh... You motherfricker! You motherf... Oof! I can't deny that! Theoretical trial, Mr. Graydon. Yes? I trust you are fully aware of the implications here. If it's shown that your claim is false, you will have incriminated yourself as the killer. Oh, I understand fully. And he thinks there's no way out of this. Explain to the court precisely what you saw. Here we go. Nothing would give me greater pleasure. Is this it? Is this the final act? Or have we still got more of this show to go? While these ruffians were jostling with the broker, I was still near the entrance to the shop. When Windybank threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door, though. Yep. The accused in a black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. I saw the blood splatter all over that wretched girl. Then she tossed the gun out to the people, so I picked it up and made my escape. Interesting. So he's saying that the third gun was passed through? That smirk. I do not like that smirk. Sir, under oath to have clearly seen the defendant pull the trigger. Oh, I love this so far. Attention this way.
It is my intention to be found guilty of a murder I didn't commit.
Oh, so you see, my hand has been forced. I tell the truth now as an act of self-preservation. Which, sadly, as an act in court, is allowed. If you hid anything, you are allowed to present it as self-preservation, but some people don't really do it. Details? Yeah, well, sorry about that. He knew? The pawnbroker was then shot in the back by the accused. And as I said, she was showered in his blood. You say the blood splattered over the accused's coat? Are you sure on that point? Wait a minute.
Wait a minute, 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 wait a minute.
Oh, we don't have it! Fuck! All over the black overcoat the goat was wearing.
Really?
If a coat would somehow be shown to harbor vestiges of blood, that would be conclusive evidence here. Such an investigation is entirely possible, my lord. Uh-oh. Only very recently, a German scientist had developed a technique to identify human blood. So here's to true science, not some amateurish detective's dubious foray into the world of chemistry. Oof! Ideas are of no use to us here. In science, as in law, theories must be proven before they stand. In Germany, the technique has already been employed in the courtroom as the basis of evidence. Wonder if that's von Karma's descendant. Oh, no, sorry, other way round. So there's a bit of quantity. No! He prefers to use a proper term, tested, rather than someone else. Well, we know, don't we, that there's blood all over the front of Jeannie's coat. So this is going to imply it's blood. It'll look like blood. It won't say whose blood, though. So we discovered this. This is what we discovered. It shows a blood, but it doesn't show whose. Mason's blood from when he was stabbed by McGilded, who was wearing the coat. The defense objects to the... Really? Uh-oh. Overruled. Shit. Well, so much for our handicap. If the results, the defense may proceed with a cross-examination. Shit. Coat. Gina will... Shit. Fuck. Doesn't go well. If I don't manage to uncover some decisive evidence or a compelling clue, we are gonna be fucked. Okay. Ruffians were just in with the broker, still near the entrance. Hold it! Mr. Windybank emerged from the storeroom, I believe. Ringo and Nash were scouring the counter when he suddenly appeared and flew at them. The bar's back, so something's amiss. And fortunately, I wasn't too close. I've never been so scared in all my life! Yeah, we're just your regular man of burglars, that's all. We don't like violence. Says the pair who carry a gun. That's true, actually, yeah. What do you mean when you say you were near the entrance to the shop? I was in the doorway, running my eyes over the shelves of forfeited items. Looking for the music box, of course. Broker went for Nash in the first place, then Ringo joined in, making it 2 against 1. I assumed they could handle the situation. But I was wrong. I was trying to help me little bro, but the old geezer chucked me over the blooming counter. So I pulled me gun on the old fella, and that soon made him scarper. The pair of you settling upon the poor defenseless pawnbroker together. Shame on you! Sorry, Gov. When you banged through Nash over the counter, I felt sharp pain in my arm.
Hold it!
You mean that's the moment you were shot? Yes, though I didn't immediately realize what had happened, of course. Things crashed to the floor from the counter as the three men were brawling. It's exactly that moment that it happened, so I didn't hear the gunshot. The bullet went on to strike the calendar in the wall behind you. So it would appear. Looked at my arm, I saw it was bleeding badly, so I wrapped my handkerchief around it. Seeing as I couldn't explain what had happened to a doctor, choice but to wait for it to heal. Yeah, I think so. Been 2 days later. Did Dr. Windybank intend to shoot you, do you think? Well now, I don't imagine he even noticed I was there, to be honest. Perhaps the gun went off accidentally. Anyway, it didn't quite strike home.
When I put my gun on him, he tried to shove me out the way.
And then he scampered through the door out back. At which point, what did you do? I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door, though.
Hold it!
This bit, I don't know. I don't recall the reason why, but I ran after him to the back of the shop. What about this peephole in the door that you mentioned?
Well, unsurprisingly, the storeroom door's a solid job, made out of stout wood.
Hello, Gregson. Good to see you.
There's a small opening in about a head height unless you see what's inside there from the outside.
I should know that, shouldn't I? Yeah, we saw that.
Hello.
And what about your burgling brothers? Did you see what went on through?
Not like they didn't see nothing to talk of.
I doubt those two buffoons were even aware of the people's existence. So the Skulkin brothers were there, but they didn't see the killing of Mr. Banuite take place? Inside the storeroom, I could see the broker and that young girl standing there. And the defendant. Hello to all of you watching. Hope you're all having a good time, by the way. Can you figure this one out? Or if any of you have played this before, how much am I looking like an idiot?
Bah.
Looking. The girl raised a gun and pointed it straight at the man. And then, what did you see next? The accused in a black coat shot the man in the back as he tried to flee to safety.
Hold it!
Yes, when the crime was discovered, the defendant was found with a gun in her hand. But that was Windybank's gun, from which only a single bullet got fired. And as we've all established, Mr. Graydon, that bullet was fired at you. Oh, but no, it wasn't the broker's gun that the pickpocket girl had in when I saw her.
What?
The bullet from Windybank's gun grazed my arm. And yes, the Skulkins grounded the detective. But this was another gun entirely. A third gun. Broker's gun was not the murder weapon, so clearly there had to be a third firearm involved. In other words, the accused must have had her own gun with her.
Objection!
Oh, now we're turning into her gun. Scene. Calm yourself, Counsel. Sorry? You must consider the events in order. Oh no. So I saw the broker and the girl glaring at each other, but then all of a sudden, the broker turned to run. Robert. Great shot rang him in the back. A chilling image, I must say. I saw the blood splatter all over that wretched girl.
Hold it!
I don't like this being a short one. Oh? Yes, through the peephole. I saw it clearly. Of course, the stains are invisible now. What with the coat being such a dark color? But I assure you, the gown is soiled with the victim's blood. Soiled with blood, that's for sure. But it's not Mr. Windybank's blood, is it? No, that's right. It's Mr. Mason Milverton's blood from the McGilded stabbing. So annoying. If they'd accept Hurley's chemical now, so we could prove that. But they won't, so unfortunately we can't use it. Bother. Bugger. As the gun out of the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape.
Hold it!
Did I hear you correctly? She threw the gun out of the room? That's right. After the broker fell to the floor, she started walking over.
Over where exactly?
In the direction of the storeroom door to where I was watching. Of course, I quickly retreated, and then dropped the gun through the peephole onto the floor on my side of the door. Did she do that? I couldn't tell you. Perhaps she was hoping to distance herself from the murder weapon. Without thinking, I went and picked it up. I suppose I was worried about just leaving it there in case any more tragedy took place. He took the third gun from the scene. Okay, well that's proven. He took the gun. So he took the gun. I left the clip to our lackeys and left. Here up. We made a bit of a mess around the counter, so Mr. Whistle and Flute here told us to tidy up. He thinks he's our bloomin' mum sometimes. Well, I was paying you enough, by God. Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket?
You little toe rag!
Oh!
Excuse me!
Hello? Why did they react? Gregson's sweating?
Something wrong, Sunshine?
To be my line? Yeah, what happened there?
Skulking. Blimey, this D's a bit all in a hooligan, ain't he?
What was going on just now?
You saw him, he grabbed me whistle. Why the blazes, he said, didn't you mention the third gun when we got you down to the station?
And why didn't you?
'Cause we didn't know nothing about it. Well, that flaming peephole in the door.
Oh!
Sorry about that. I can be prone to losing my rack sometimes.
Hold on.
Core blimey!
I'll do the proper direction.
Core blimey!
Can we just agree that this game is so fucking fun? Interesting. The inspector doesn't normally get quite as worked up as that. No, that wasn't like Gregsy at all. He's normally all sweetness and light, no matter what I say to him. Yes, well, I think you might have a special case, Iris. Well, anyway, that was definitely out of character. Gregson. Oh!
Your Lordship's permission to interrupt the cross-examination? Explain yourself, officer.
Well, we got the results.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
This isn't good. Shit. We were hoping for a hint and we got nothing. Shit. I don't really want to look at this.
Blaze of human blood were found on the overcoat of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. Instead of the stains, it would appear that they were the result of splattering following a gunshot wound.
Shit! See? What did I tell?
Objection!
So, counsel. It belonged to Magnus McGilded. It was the Windy Banks McGilded had fatally stabbed Mr. Nelson Wilverton. That overcoat is the blood. Oh, he's trying, God bless him!
Objection!
Oh dear. Well, the dead cannot speak. Isn't that right, my Nipponese friend? Shit. In this very courtroom, did you not argue fervently for McGilded's innocence? And yet now that that man is dead, you brand him as a murderer? Could I shut... Oh, God damn it! code is 2 months old or not. Even a stereoscope couldn't help the answer to that problem pop out. It can't be done! Becoming so...
I held out Pirovsky to starving boy. Pirovsky to starving. He ran away crying.
6, we have a oh yeah, wrong game.
Damn it!
Sweet indeed. This proves that my testimony is the whole truth. As the witness said, the accused coat was splattered with the blood of the victim. The only way Mr. Graydon could possibly have known that fact is if he saw it happen. In other words, his testimony is solid and the conclusion is singular. It's the accused who shot the victim in this case. Uh-oh. Oh no. No, 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 no. Oh no.
I don't think I want to look at this. We got this fucking going on again.
Oh no.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Not again.
Fuck.
Fuck, fuck.
That's testimony. Here's to any attempt you may make at unpicking the juror's decision being equally successful.
Ah!
Damn it. Summation. Distressing? Such low esteem. What? Huh? Bailiff? What? What now? That will be all, thank you. It occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Naruhodo, that scientific truths are determined not by science, but by no...
That's gotta be Sholmes! That's gotta be Sholmes! That's Sholmes, isn't it? That's fucking Sholmes!
Am I going mad?
It's Sholmes!
Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes!
What is it?
Surprise indeed, motherfucker! What business do you have here, detective? You were recuperating in hospital. As well I should be, had I not been set upon an errand. What errand? Yes, good day, Iris. I appear to be rather late to rise. My apologies. Yeah, what the fuck is going on here? I'm loving this. I'm loving this, though. I have something of great importance I wish to do. The lawyer over there. Well, at least the other two was just as surprised as us. 5 minutes, would you be so kind as to spare the time? What say you to this, Lord Van Zykes? Yeah, it was very good, though. So the court's time, having spent so long on... Oh! Gregson, as I was saying, having spent so long already, it would seem churlish to deny... Sykes! I love this game! Hey! You had a costume change. My dear fellow, I apologize for my tardy arrival. All right, I'm all wrong. Oh, god damn it, that's a fucking reference to Phoenix's best joke. Why am I, Phoenix Wright, a great lawyer? Because I'm right all the time. Boo. only just managed to summon the strength to stand. Man, I asked the judge for 5 minutes. But I fear even that may prove too much for me. Pray forgive me should I pass out. Well, at least he's honest. Apparently this place is full of idiots. Ah, well, that concoction of mine was really just a bit of a sport to assist me in my investigations. Stepladder. Stepladder job. Hazeled by the scientific community and oversight on my part. Well, something to do there. So what's up? Enough of that, I'm here to give you this, my dear fellow. Wait. Leaving... Sasato! This is that fucking argument! This is that... Shocks him when she asked me to do her this favor. Stand. Sasato foresaw today's events, I believe. She knew that the culprit would attempt to escape justice by means of devious and underhand. And a fighting fairly as you are wont to do, would find yourself in considerable peril. At that very moment of crisis, you were to be given this small parcel. Those were the dear lady's instructions. Sasato, what did you do? The cat... Wait... No! No, no, no! No, no! I think... They used that to make a people! They used that to make the people! Wait, but that's... Why? Hang on, I'm confused here. The cat flap. Yay! Pussycat! Wait, are you telling me that fucking cat flap thing was a fucking thing related to this fucking case? You're telling me a cat flap is gonna help us win? Lagard. What's Susie up to? Sato muttered the following words before she left. I'm a failure. I don't deserve to be... Oh. What? He did hear her. Well, that's extremely flattering. I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure. What's going on here? What do you mean by that, Mr. Sholmes? That night when you left Windybanks in pursuit of the thieves. She tampered with it! No. Sasato? Sasato tampered with the... No. No, no, no. Did Sasato rig the scene? And there it goes. And another one. Okay. 5 minutes. Oh yeah, forgot about that. 5 minutes. Fuck. 4 glasses. I can't believe we went through that much. So what's Sholmes gonna do? Is he just gonna take the stand? Says Mr. Reaper. I need no thanks, detective. After all, the die is cast. Is it really? The jurors are unanimous in their leanings. No doubt my liege friend will consider a summation examination. But any attempt to alter the verdict now would be utterly futile. I wonder... Mr... What? A new dear fellow, what is your plan? The rest is down to... Wait, no! The cross-examination was suspended, not cancelled! Is there a chance? A wrong move, the trial will end badly. Not 20 of these suckers. Gladly. So what are we gonna do? Do we summation, cross-examination, or time to think? Let's check it out. Jesus! Those are... Jesus! They're made of a special alloy I developed for this job. The cutter rotates 10 times per second so it can get through any door. The cross-exam's gotta be it. Those are for attaching hinges to the section of the door that gets cut out. So in short, they create a cap flap that properly works. Being friendly when you say it before, but it feels like the reality of the cap flap is that it's a grim weapon of door destruction. Why guy is so adorable? Nothing will do for him, even developing deadly weapons. I'm not sure that's what you want! You're right. The cross-examination's gotta be the only way. Somebody is. Let's do it.
Objection!
I hope that wasn't the wrong one. The jurors have spoken. Protocol dictates you may not cross-examine a new witness.
Objection.
We got a new evidence, though. New witness. Rather to continue with one of the existing witness. What? It would appear that a rather important detail has escaped your attention, Mr. Reaper. He's suspended. He came in and suspended it. He suspended it. All right. Yep, so he suspended it. Okay. Didn't say anything then. If Bruno has to resume his cross-examination of Mr. Graydon, the court is obliged to allow it. No! This is absurd! Yeah, good question. I don't know when, but I'll assume it. Those present that this is my courtroom. I concur the defense is entirely within its right to request to continue with the cross-examination. However, protraction of these proceedings. Therefore... Uh-oh. Counsel, you must choose one statement from the testimony and one piece of evidence. Oh no. We're on one life syndrome. One life. We have to get this right. Following that, the situation remains unchanged. I shall move to adjudication. Oh no. We can't even press them! Oh no. A single statement and a single piece of evidence. Most generous. Shit. Most likely. It's high time I fell in a dead faint. Oh, Sholmes. Wow. Oh shit. That was more than just a faint. That was a... Oh goody. For the court in a state of such high fever, either the man has extraordinary strength of mind or extraordinary lack of feeling. Yeah. Very little now. The defective is sleeping soundly in one of the antechambers. Strike a man when he's down, why don't you? This is it. One statement, one evidence. We have one chance.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. One final chance. Okay. Oh, the music! Ruffians were jostling with the broker. I was near the entrance of the shop. Windy Bank threw Nash over the counter, sharp pain in the arm. I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door, though. The accused in a black coat shot the man in the back as he tried to flee safely. I saw the blood splatter over the wretched girl. Then she tossed the gun out of the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape. So we need the statement. We need the one statement. I know that's it. I'm tempted to say it's this. This most likely is the obvious thing. Safe, scum? You know what? I think I'll do it. If we get the bad ending... If I get the bad ending, we'll let it play. But I'm tempted to say this is the statement. Hey everyone, let's do this together. One shot. All right, everyone, on 3, we do it. Take that. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Actually, no. We'll do objection because it's the proper phrase. Okay, fuck it. Do the proper phrase. Objection, everyone, on 3. Proper 1. 1. Yeah, I know. I realized it. 1, 2, 3. Objection! Did that do it? I think we got it. Did we actually get it? The cat flap. Can cut through any door you can think of and make a new little door in the middle. That's right, my lord. It's a device for casting. And this is where we're going to be. Thank you. Cat lovers contrivance. There's no possible routes to this case. Wrong. To start with, there was no cat flap in the pawnbroker's door. Not being a keeper of cats myself, I'm afraid I fail to see what this has to do with the matter at hand. Perhaps it would help if I described its function another way, then. This contraption is able to create a peephole. That is it. A peephole, you say? 2 nights ago, we arrived at the scene only minutes after the murder of Mr. Binningham taken place. That's right. According to the paperwork at the yard, it was you, your Japanese assistant, and Sholmes. The 3 of us were together, and it's recently come to my attention that my assistant made use of this device at the time. There was a peephole in the storeroom door, I can attest to that. Because I looked through the peephole myself in order to see inside the locked storeroom. This is ludicrous. What are you trying to say? What is a peephole in the door? I said as much in my testimony. Else would I have witnessed the crime for Pete's sake? Yes, how could you?
What?
What do you mean? The final blow? We're not done yet? People on the storeroom door, and until such time as she did, the door had no hole to look through. I'm aware what this meant. No! Oof!
Objection!
This is a farce. Are you really suggesting that the people at the door was... Yes, it was created only after the incident had taken place by my judicial assistant using this device. Your assistant tampered with the crime scene whilst being fully aware of the gravity of our actions. It's the most serious act of vandalism! For which I humbly apologize, my lord. It was in the few minutes that I left the scene in order to pursue the Skulkin brothers and alert the police. Nevertheless, in the light of this new information, it's apparent that Mr. Graydon's testimony is riddled with holes. Riddled with... Explain yourself. The majority of Mr. Graydon's testimony that appears to incriminate the defendant is based upon what he witnessed through the peephole in the storeroom door. Yes, that filthy girl shooting the man in the back. However, if at the time of the incident the peephole did not yet door, there's no possible way that you could have seen what you claim to have seen. In short, your entire testimony is a pack of lies. I feel smirked. So this revelation...
Objection!
Uh-oh. None whatsoever, as my learned friend must surely realize. Exactly. This is just a cheap trick designed to discredit me. Afraid not, sir. Of course it is. Do you seriously expect people to believe that a plaything could cut through a solid wooden door? I designed to be very powerful, can go through even the toughest of doors.
That's absurd. Don't believe it for a second.
I had a feeling you'd say that. Uh-oh. We're about to test that theory. What?
What? Court cat!
What?
Good question. This is the Old Bailey. What does not make a cat flap in the old paneling of the Old Bailey?
There's no way you could prove that it was. No, but it's easy.
What?
The cat flaps my cap from it creates all the fix's size, and the dimensions of the peephole at Windy Banks are an exact match. Oh, Iris. Well played. And now it's my learned student friend's turn to be lost for words, I feel. I believe your judicial assistant has already left the country for your Eastern Island home. Uh-oh. So they can't get the truth out of her. Fuck. Fuck. Oh, also the tournament's going to be taking place shortly as well. Cuts. This line in there. It's very simple, my lord. The defense argues that the peephole was created after the incident using this device. But now that the perpetrator returned to her native land, she cannot testify to the fact there's no proof. Fuck! Most of the time. So my learned friend's claim amounts to nothing more than a base... Oh. Damn it! Fuck! Wait, we have to find a way to... Come on, we have to... Then you get your own opening, force your way through. Okay, let's have a look.
She's right! Look! Look up there. And then look at the other one. It was created in that half-an-hour slot. Oh my fucking god! Yes, 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 yes!
To the evident not before.
We gotta present Gina's photograph.
Take that! What are you? A print from that detective's infernal cameras again? Oh my fucking god. Oh my god, I've actually had a look. We actually have a long way to go. I just glanced at my thing to double check what we've got. I think, sad to say, I think this is where we take a break. I am so sorry, everybody. Yeah, I've double checked this. It hasn't spoiled anything because I have a spoiler-free thing here, but I double checked it.
It says there's a lot to go on.
So, with that said, I think this is why we close this chapter. Why do I do this? Well, you say it yourself, Killer. If you're the biggest asshole, I learned to be. Right. But that's all for tonight's episode, everybody. We are going to deal with this scenario next time. Can we end this story with a happy ending? Or is there still a lot more to go? Because I'm having fun.
Because we agree that a cat flap is the fucking key. So the question is, what's more to go?
I think it's fair that we check this out next time. But before we wrap up, please note that tomorrow we are going to be doing the Monu campaign. That's right, everyone. Joy Charged Gamers is going back to D&D. After a month of being away, it is my time to go back in the DM seat. With characters like Aeon and Heidi and Dell, and a few others, as well as Cutlol and a few others too. So let's see where that conundrum goes, because there was a big cliffhanger on that. So I will see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. the UK time for our D&D session tomorrow. But until then, everybody, if you were charged with joy with this stream, be sure and hit subscribe or follow wherever you're watching us, and we will see you for the next part. Hopefully this should be the ending. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we, everybody?
I want to continue, but
But until then, everyone, if you were charged with joy, you know what you do. Hit subscribe, hit follow, and we'll see you all for the next one. If you're joining us tomorrow for D&D, I will see you there. Otherwise, I will see you myself when we go back into the judge's chair for the remainder of this. So until then, everybody, this is Brownie of the Joy Charged Gamers, signing off on Let's Play Live, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Until then, everyone, stay charged, and I'll catch you all later. Goodbye. Oh, sorry. Goodbye. And for Pixelmon, time to battle.